Kanjalo sekuphinde kwabanjalo. Grace and peace. I really hope this finds you well and in good spirits. Kamuthamba Lukele, otherwise known as Uskim. Abaningi bathi babuhlale babachabela. Wise comes from the east. With me in the building, Vandag, I have my guy, no stranger to Lento. He's been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, he's back. But Vandag is fired up. I believe there's just a lot, I think Anaconda has to speak to someone today because he came here, he was sounding like a buffalo, breathing on my neck and saying, hey, gee, I can smell scammers all over. So we are not going to do the tribalism, favoritism, nepotism. We are going to face the fact. When someone is confident, they are saying you're arrogant. A very confident young man. G-Money, what's up, my guy?
My brother, how you doing?
Welcome back.
I'm waiting for you to knight me with my Zulu name, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we had so much fun. Congratulations, by the way. So first and foremost, you did it, my guy. Silence the lamp. And I know Guti, the tails are between many people's legs, but yeah, there's a tongue lashing. People are busy twitching here and then saying, hey, Mona, was it a success? Was it a great success? Was it a failure? Was it a humble version? Was it a fake? Was it an original? Your honest review, because when you are the one, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Yes, so I want to know Durban story, bringing the international. That's your homie, by the way. It's like you brought guy from Tembisa. I was in Kato. You brought Rose. Your true reflection, my guy. Before we get into these dynamics and politics, I want the reflection. Then we are going to introduce Uchimani official.
Bro, the show, first off, shout out to the people of Durban. Shout out to the people of South Africa. I'm humbled by God, the way that show, turned out. If to be honest, if I said I didn't think it was going to be that way, I'd be lying, my brother. I knew it was going to be that way. Not because, I think I'm the shit. Yeah. It's really because I know it's what God wanted, my brother, seriously. And when trials and tribulations come, I always tell people, man, God takes shit and he turns into sugar, bro. So for me, on Saturday, all of my haters died. I attended their funerals on Sunday and Monday. I pissed on their graves on Tuesday. And I've been drinking ever since.
My G.
Rest in peace, my niggas. But I'm happy though, bro. It went great. 26,000 people. I was shocked when I saw the clicker from CompuTicket. It was 2 people less than 26,000 people showed up to the stadium. We booked,
in counting,
my brother, we booked 21,000. I don't even know how the extra 4,000 people got in there.
But
it was beautiful, my brother. It was beautiful. So I'm happy. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to my wife who helped me tremendously. Shout out to Razzie Raz in the back of the building. Everybody did great, man. Even old Malcolm X, man. Shout out to old Malcolm, man.
Papa. Hey, you'll be stuttering until heaven. Papa, you see, that's my guy. That's my G. Kiamutaba skim, Papa. All right.
But the way he moved around the college campuses, man, with the kids and whatnot, because we really wanted to involve the community. We gave away, I believe, like 4,800 tickets. So it wasn't all about making money. We just wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to experience. Even when we saw some people were saying, look, the tickets are a little too expensive, we just dropped the price for them, man. For us, this was a proof of concept, my brother. We did this show completely out of pocket. We spent almost $1 million US. We had no sponsors, no government backing, no nothing. It's actually, sad, but it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta, I'm from the show me state, in the United States, man. That's where I'm from. So if you don't think I showed you, wait till September where I show you again.
We're going deep down and under. So my guy, let's just maybe introduce you to G-Money so that they know you for who you are. At times we give too much credit until they're saying, no, Chief, no, you're a loudmouth. Sit down. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. So, we're saying all the way from the US of A, you are here.
Yes.
So, give us your DNA and the makeup, my guy. Where you come from, what brings you to SA as well?
Well, look, man, I know I'm handsome. Whichever camera's on me, I know I'm handsome. But I'm 43 years old. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not a little boy. Man, I know I look 28, but I'm 43 years old. I've been in business 22 and a half years. My company's in 19 U.S. states. I'm in 5 countries. I came here, under the guise, bro, of just as an investment, so I came here to shine, bro, but I came here to put people on. You know, because where I'm from, that's what I do in my community. If anybody looks me up and really knows my history, I come from a group of niggas, man, that's almost 4,000 strong. We're one of the biggest black organizations that's ever came inside of the United States. And I was the original 13 of that organization. So anybody that knows it, they can look it up. I won't say it. So, you know, for me, in knowing who I am, yes, my name is Gregory Wings. Yes, they used to call me G Money in the street. You know, online, I'm blaming it on G. You can follow me, all of that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, my name is June. That's what my mother calls me. My uncle calls me Junebug. You know, I'm a junior, so I didn't like that junior. You know, I didn't think that was cool. So they called me June. But that's who I am at heart, bro. I'm a lover. You know, my love language is giving. So shout out to all the scammers in Santon. I see y'all. You know, all of them that thought that they got me. What they don't realize is they stole my joy. When I gave, I was giving from the bottom of my heart. You know, and then to be stabbed in the back and the rest of those things, you know, it's fucked up. You know, since the last time I saw you, my brother, let's see, I was 1 jail term in when I saw you last time. After I saw you after that, I got kidnapped again by the police in this country, bro, for 5 days. You know, 9 days the first time, 5 days the second time. And it was bad, bro. It was bad. But the second time I was ready for them. You know, I told them to do whatever they had to do, you know. They locked me up with no fingerprints, no charge, no nothing, you know. I was there 5 days, put me in the back of a paddy wagon, took me to the courthouse, didn't even take me in front of the judge. Let me out of the back of the courthouse, man, and told me I was free to go. Literally kidnapped me, man, you know. So for me, when a person tries to run me out of something, my brother, I can't be ran out. You know, if you go through my history, man, we'll sit here and we'll cry together. I've been through it all, man, in my life. Yes, I did 8 years in prison, but I was a 22-year-old child, my brother. You know, not really knowing any better. Yeah, I was a rich nigga back then and all of that, but I didn't really know what I was doing, you know. Did I commit a crime? Unfortunately, yes, I did, you know, and I paid for my time. But I came home, I paid my restitution. I did all of my probation time. I haven't been in trouble again in my life. And now looking back 21 years ago, if somebody cares about me going to jail for being a rich nigga, I ain't gonna say suck my you know what, but you know, you can find what river you can jump in, because at the end of the day, it's a story of what you do afterwards. You know, when you fall, it's how you rise, my brother. You know, some people may think I stole my way back. My brother, I went to work for a company in 2014 that I own to this day. I went to work for this company making $700 a week, which I know if we convert it over here is a lot of money. But on that side of the world, my brother, you destitute making $700 a week. I started as a salesman in this company. My first year in that company, at the end of the year, shout out to Adam, my business partner, man. At the end of that year, he owed me almost $1 million. And he knew if he paid me, I was gone. And instead, he offered me 48% of the business. I stayed. We were in one office, one little 3,000 square foot warehouse. Now we're in 19 states, you know, 5 countries around the world. It's a company that I built, almost 1,000 employees, my brother. Now, I'm not patting myself on the back, but yes, I am. In my country, where I'm from, we make up 3%. We don't have a chance, my brother. We all go to jail. We all been shot. I done did all of that. I'll lift my shirt up and show you my bullet wounds, you know, in me, man. So I done been through all of that. You know, even the way I was shot and how I'm still here to this day. I was supposed to be dead and gone, my brother. I got saved on the side of a road because I'm a good nigga, man. You know, literally, I got shot in a Mexican's hood. They hate us, man, in L.A. They hate us. And one of the Mexican boys that knew me knew it was going to be a war if I died on that street. And he went and he got me. The same boys that shot me, he made them come back and pick me up, put me in the back of their car and take me to the hospital. The true story is all over the place. It's in the papers. It's everywhere. The same people that shot me, I got shot for nothing. They robbed me. You know, they wanted the jewels and shit. Yeah, my style. Who got a diamond tester in the room? They want to know if my jewelry is real. Who got one in the back? Raz, you got one. Eva, shout out to Eva. She just got here. Eva DXB is in the building too, y'all. You know, so it's like, you know, for me, man, you know, when I look at, you know, life as a whole, for me, it's not about money no more, bro. It's about the experience. It's about the blessing behind the money. You know, when I look at this Raw show, you know, that we just did, you guys know this market, my brother. You know, for somebody to come over and spend $1 million, that's hard to make back in this industry, especially
and the
where
economy
we at,
as well.
The economy's messed up, man. So I definitely didn't make it back in tickets. I definitely didn't get any money from sponsors. I don't child sponsorship money. I would have liked to have childed, but hey, government wasn't messing with me. You know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, for me, where I'm gonna make my money out of this show is in the story that I tell for the people.
Oh yeah.
So we're doing a 1 hour special with Trace TV. Shout out to Black Brain Pictures, Monla M and those guys.
Yeah.
They're doing a documentary on it that we're going to sell to Netflix. So we have our ways that we make our money. The live streaming and the rest. You know, where guys, unfortunately, in this country, they're paying attention to ticket sales. I'm going to give y'all a lesson on the concert business, man. There's 5 major streams of income in the ticketing business. I'm sorry, in the concert business.
Yeah.
You have ticket sales. If you think you're going to make money out of tickets, you're a fool. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Only thing you can do with your tickets is try to recoup your initial investment. Then you have food, beverage, and merchandising. Nobody gives a shit about a Rick Ross T-shirt, you know, and half of the people, imagine a guy in Golden Circle who's been standing there for 4 hours, leaving his spot to go to the bar to get a drink. It's not going to happen. So you're not making your money like that out of food and beverage. Plus, in this country, the stadiums with their cabals and not allowing you to make no money out of food and beverage, you're wasting your time thinking you're going to make money out of that. You know, then from there, you got sponsorship, which we all know what that is. And then the 2 biggest revenues in the concert business, which are untapped in this industry, is streaming and documentary, my brother. Those are the 2 biggest revenues and money that you can make. So for me, it's not for me to come here and be better than anybody else. I'm just trying to put other brothers on. Y'all need to get y'all money, bro. Live stream all of y'all shows, document all of y'all shows, because you missing money that's just laying on the ground that's free. The advertisers that we had in our live stream, bro, I got some of the biggest advertisers in the world. Coca-Cola, Sprite, all of these guys that are there, and they paying dollars. They're not paying rands. You know, it's something that I'm trying to tell my brothers. You know, I've been in this country for 2 years, bro. You know, I've been trying to tell all my brothers in this country, man, stop thinking in rands. You want to know why? Because white people don't think in that. When I have meetings with white people in this country, they never speak to me in rands, my brother. They talk in dollars and euros. And, you know, when I'm listening to them, I'm wondering why. It's because they tricking us into thinking in rands. So you have a guy like Nasty C who's bigger than life, my brother. You know, I'm not gonna mention how much he makes per show and all the rest of that. But when I break it down into dollars, it's a slap in his face. You know, it's something that he doesn't deserve. You know, he deserves much more. But because you're in a rand society where they've convinced us, you know, shout out to Sweet Galuva and those guys, man. You know, I love those boys. But you know, they'll convince him. White media will convince him that winning 2 million rands that he's a millionaire. My brother, that's $100,000. You know, in euros, it's 85,000 euros. My brother, I mean, Raz will tell you, man, I can spend $100,000 in a weekend, man. Sometimes one night at a strip club.
Do you know that?
You know, I'm telling you, my brother. Look, when you start traveling the world, you start playing in big numbers when you start traveling the world, man. You know, all of us can right now go to dinner. I'll take all of y'all to Tang with me tonight. I won't spend $500. But if all of us right now is in one of our restaurants in Las Vegas, my brother, I got a $10,000 bill. You know, you got to play with some big nuts when you start moving around the world.
And that's 100,000.
My brother. So, you know, it's 100,000 over here, you know. So for me, it's just about educating. You know, it's not about trying to put nobody down or trying to say what's better. If I thought where I was better, I'd be there. I love this place, bro. This is God's country. I keep telling people this, man.
But that was my next question, Chi. Why South Africa, out of all the countries? We've got Lesotho, we've got Gaborone, Botswana, we've got Angola, we've got Kenya. So now you said no, motherland. You know, you are between Cape Town, Johannesburg, Durban.
I love this country, man. I can't lie, man. You know, look, it has the most thriving economy on the continent. And unfortunately, on my side of the world, I've told you this before, they teach us that Africa is one country. They don't teach us it's a continent with a bunch of diverse nations, a bunch of diverse people, and these types of things. So even
think
for
about
us,
Africa, you immediately see elephants,
my brother,
running around.
No, to be honest, when you think of Africa, you think of Nigerians.
I know the story,
I mean, that's what they teach us. They teach us that everybody, all you scammers in Santon are all Nigerians. That's what they teach us, my brother. You know, and it's sad, man. You know, my mother, she sends me reports every week about, you know, what's happening in Africa. You know, I had somebody tell me the other day that there's a travel ban from the United States to Africa. I'm like, who told you that, man? It's a lie, my brother. Don't believe what you hear. And what people must stop doing is paying attention to Donald Trump, bro. He's an actor, y'all. He's an actor. Look, we live in a democratic society here in South Africa and the United States. There's no president in the world in a democratic society that can just do whatever he wants.
You think he's a clown, that guy?
A clown? He's a clown to the umpteenth degree, but
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something about Donald Trump. My brother, since the 80s, Donald Trump has been messing with black people, bro.
Yeah.
He's gotten himself into a position as an actor where he has to just keep doing what he's doing. Look, man, one of the best niggas that I know, man, is a guy named Mike Harris, Harry-O. He did 29 years in prison. Donald Trump is who released him from prison. And right now, Donald Trump gave him $50 million to go around the United States and start cleaning up the ghettos. You know, so those are the things you don't see. Now, he has a lot of BS that he does, but it's just a lot of talking, my brother.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have to be careful. It's even in this country, you have to be careful what ministers you hire. You have to be careful who you vote for, because a president can get up there and say, I'm kicking out all Americans. They're all leaving South Africa. But unless it's signed into law by his constituents, it can't happen, my brother. So Donald Trump can do whatever he wants to do, but unless the House and the Senate, they pass it, nothing can happen. So those are the people that you have to look after. They're all clowns, my brother. You know, look, where I'm from, we could care less who's in government. Why? Because we have
capture.
There's none, my brother. Because we have such a big middle class. If the middle class cuts me off, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
But if the government cuts me off, man, I just go and talk to mama, man, and I'm straight, my brother. But honestly, to answer your question, the reason why I chose Africa as a whole, and then South Africa. When you start looking at things, you know, I'm looking for an economic market. This is my first, you know, country on this continent. So I wanted to start here first because it has the largest landmass of people, you know, on the continent. You know, a lot of people think I throw shows for a living. My brother, that's my third business. I've been in construction 22 and a half years. I've been in entertainment 17. I got into entertainment by being a landowner. I owned a shopping plaza. This guy had this huge club on the end of my plaza. When he lost his club, I either had to spend a bunch of money to section it off and get new tenants and the rest, or I was going to become a club owner. And I chose to become a club owner, you know, and it paid off for me. And I've been doing it for 17 years. You know, I'm the only black man in the United States that has ever had a establishment on the Las Vegas Strip. Me, you looking right at him. There's not one other one. If you meet him, he's lying. There's not another one out there. I got the paperwork.
You can Google it.
In the history
right
book.
there.
You can Google it right now. So, you know, so for me, I know where I come from. You know, and I know how it is to be a second-class citizen. So when I came to this country and all of a sudden I was turned into a second-class citizen, you know, it was actually kind of funny to me because at the end of the day, when I tell people that this is God's continent, this is God's country. Look, if you know the stories of the Bible, my brother, and you remember when they were building the Tower of Babel, right? And if you believe that, like I believe, that Jesus walked this earth, born and died on this continent. If you believe it. If you believe that he looked just like us. Maybe he wasn't as black as me or as black as this bottle, but he was close to us. So when you look at it and you say, okay, that Tower of Babel, when they say we were all just alike, that means we were all black people. So when they built that Tower of Babel and God knocked it down, why is it that God left all the black people here on this continent? And he sent all the white people to Russia, Britain, all of these different places that they went. All right, you got to think of things like that. Why do they all look somewhere else? This is the promised land, my brother. Look, yes, there are hurricanes and these types of things around here. But where I'm from, my brother, we have every natural disaster. We have volcanoes, we have earthquakes, we have hurricanes, we have tornadoes, we have hailstorms, we have everything. It ravishes our country. How can you look and call America God's country? It's the most foolish thing that you could ever hear in your life. We have the natural disaster. Right now, the fires have tore up Los Angeles. They tore them up. The tornadoes have ravished the Midwest. The flooding just came in. They just had another hurricane in Miami. But when I look here, I live on the ocean in Durban, my brother. I smell the ocean every day. I love it, man, when I smell the ocean. You know, I got this stupid penthouse in Embassy Towers. Every time I come down there, when I'm there, when I'm watching what I see, I'm saying to myself, why are we allowing these guys to scam foreigners? Why are we allowing these guys to come in here and tear up God's country, bro? We're supposed to be bringing and ushering more people into the country. The one thing that I wanted the Ross Show to do was to shine light to all of my brothers and sisters on that side of the world to what is here. Because where we think that Joburg is this entertainment capital, when I call home and tell my boys, hey, bro, y'all come over here, they say, well, what the fuck is we gonna do over there, bro? I'm like, bro, you know, they be like, bro, they only got slay queens, bro. And I'm like, nah, bro, there's more than that over here. But the difference is, and it's no, hey, shout out to the slay queens. That's on y'all. You know, I don't care. But for me, you have to be promoting tourism. So when I look at what happened in Durban, a person say, why did you go to Durban? So there, you know, in the United States, New York City, Chicago, Illinois, and Los Angeles, the three places with the highest population of homeless people. You want to know why? Because everybody wants to go to the big city and make it.
Yes.
But when you start looking at Tubuck, Kentucky, and Milwaukee and farmland, there's tons of millionaires and thousandaires that are living their best lives, my brother, with no competition whatsoever. Yeah. So here now I look at Joburg, and I got to sit here and fight with Ticket Pro and big concerts and all of these things. Why? Shout out to them. I ain't got no issue with them. But why do I want to do that? When I'm looking at this beautiful city of Durban, man, and you know us black people, bro, we love the water. Even though we can't swim, we love water, my brother.
We worship the pool.
My brother, it's all there. So when I go inside of Durban, I'm looking and I'm saying, man, when hip hop was at its hype, this was the spot. Yeah. You know, so why not bring it back? You know, I'm a developer, bro. So for me, when I look at South Beach, it reminds me of South Beach, Miami in the 80s. So look, if I want to buy a hotel in the United States, if I don't have $25 to $50 million, forget about it. You know, the most expensive hotel down there that needs to be renovated is $900,000, my brother. I'm like begging to buy right now, you know. So for me, but in order for me to be willing to do that, I got to rebuild tourism. So you look at what we did this past weekend. Yeah. I tried to get Malcolm a flight out of Durban Sunday and Monday. All flights were sold out, my brother. You could not get out of Durban if you didn't book your ticket a week ago. You sold out Radisson Blu. You sold out the Hilton Mschlanger. You sold out Capital Pearls. I mean, those are the things that matter when it comes to tourism and pushing those things. You know, so for me, when you see me, you know, giving shout outs to arts and culture and giving shout outs to Durban tourism and these types of things, I'm trying to entice them to do their jobs, my brother. Because at the end of the day, I brought tourism inside of Durban on my own, out of my own pocket, without the help of local Durban tourism. They literally like just shitted on me. They wasted my time for 2 or 3 months, jacked me around left and right, thought I was a scammer, I guess, whatever they thought was going to happen. And they played themselves because now here you are, you didn't get a chance to be a part of something that you were supposed to be a part of. Because this is a movement for me, my brother. I'm going to come back to Joburg and do some stuff. But for right now, my focus is on Durban. My focus is on giving to those people what they deserve. Here you had, look, that show was the first international show since 2018, my brother. And you know who came and did that show? Rick Ross. It was the first one that came back to Durban pre-COVID, you know. So for me, the people deserved it, my brother. You know, we'll get into the sabotage and all that stuff, you know.
Let's get to that because I think that's the essence of this conversation.
No, absolutely, my brother. It's very important to see, you know. I love Gayton and those guys, man. But I'm very disappointed. You know, arts and culture responded to an article in the paper a couple months back, distancing themselves from the Rick Ross show. That's what it says, the headline. Arts and culture distance themselves from the Rick Ross show. And I say to myself, why would you do that?
Yeah. Where is that coming from?
Where is that coming from?
Did you try and investigate?
Yeah, you know, I know, man. You know, I don't want to fight with no politicians, you know, so I won't go there. But I'll say this, right? You know, there's a guy sitting in this room right now. His name is Xavier Thomas, right? We bust 25 kids from Joburg, and we took 25 from Durban, and we put them inside one room, and we let them battle it out for a spot to win on stage at the Rick Ross show. That's something that's never been done, even in my country, my brother. We made literally history with that, doing an artist competition to allow one local talent that has never been seen anywhere to get on a big stage like that, my brother. You know, so for me, this is what arts and culture is supposed to be doing. 5 of those kids got major record deals. You know, now they're being seen. It was live streamed. You know, so it's a shame that they weren't a part of that. You know, all of the activations that we did at the colleges where we put on artists, you know, like DJ Meech. You know, shout out to him for being around. Umsamame. It was a bunch of those guys. DJ Stanky. All of these guys that were participating in these things for the build-up. These are things that arts and culture is supposed to be a part of. You know, tourism is supposed to be a part of. So, you know, after you get through all of those things, you know, when we started this thing, man, shout out to Amazulu Football Club, man. You know, when we started this thing, right? From Joburg, I was still here. I'm trying to figure out where we should book, you know, the stadium. So they tell me that Moses Mabhida is under construction. I can't do it there. Then they lied to me and tell me People's Park isn't available, even though it was. So I said, so we end up calling Kings Park. But they said, all right, man, we're available. Sight unseen, I booked it. I said, okay, fine. It's the only place I can go to Durban, so fine, I'll book it. I went to, and no disrespect to their stadium, man. I went to the stadium, and it's a rugby stadium, my brother. And you can tell they tear that thing alive, my brother. So when
It's
I'm
hostile, yeah.
my brother, it is, man. It's like gladiator style, like really in the old days. So it's like when I saw it, I said to myself, "There's no way I can do a show here. It's not gonna work, man." So I end up reaching out to the stadium and finding out that I could have booked the stadium. I was lied to. I could have booked the stadium, but because I didn't book the stadium in time, there was a soccer match there. And it was Amazulu versus I think Pulukwani or something like that.
Yeah.
And y'all should respect the fact that I can start saying these names now because I used to mess these names up, my brother, like 100%, man. But I'm trying my best. I'm gonna be speaking Zulu in 3 months, y'all. 3 months, I'll be speaking Zulu, man. And so we went through this process of trying to get the stadium.
Yeah.
And I mean, bro, that's when the sabotage started. They tried to block us at every which way. And shout out to Yambossi, Mr. Jabu, King Jabu and Tetwa, man, who believed in us, man. When I came about to this show, he asked me to do a Muskandi event, my brother, and to be honest, I knew nothing about Muskandi, but I told him I would take it. So I was sitting I told you guys this before, I was sitting at the Samas a few weeks later, and I saw the love that came from Muskandi. And I immediately texted him and said, man, I'm in.
In for it.
And then I started contacting my live streaming partners and stuff, and they told me that unless I expanded the lineup, they wouldn't live stream it. So I wanted to keep it like a Durban local thing. So if you notice the lineup, every single artist was local, born in Durban, my brother. This was a Durban music fest. So where you have the haters talking, Rick Ross is old, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Rick Ross is old, but he's rich as fuck. He's a big brand, my brother, So you as much shit as you can talk about Ross, that nigga's got bangers, bro. Like he has bangers. I mean, at the end of the day, the entire state, you see him, Ricky Rose's in the building. You saw the whole building was fucking with him. Nobody was not. Nobody was sitting there saying, get him off of my stage. No, my brother. And the man's got bangers. So at the end of the day, for him, it was just so I could live stream it to the rest of the world, my brother. So I wanted to even give the local artists that were big enough, that could take that stage, to give them an even bigger platform, to be able to do it on and to be able to be a part of the live streaming and a documentary. And I spread out the money amongst all of the artists, my brother. I'm not taking that money for myself. Each of those artists that are there, I gave them 5% of the live stream, 5% of the documentary, and they're going to get 5% of the 1 hour special. I'm not keeping all the bread for myself, So I'm trying to empower as much as I can to be able to show the people what it's about if we're going to try to take over. So back to the sabotage. So when this was happening, I'm sorry, Becky, man. I'm gonna mess up your first name, man. But shout out to Becky Cali, man. Like he showed me so much love, my brother. When he found out,
I took a picture with him with Chris Lapa.
He was so happy,
was having
man.
fun.
He was so happy, my brother.
Even General Mkwanazi.
Man. Oh, shout out to him, Konazi, also, man. That's another person, man, that came to my rescue. Last year when the scammers.
Was fake. For him, it was fair.
Yeah, my brother. He just wanted it to be fair. He just wanted to even the playing field. He says, man, I'm not gonna let these scammers ruin you, but I'm also not gonna help you.
But
sink or swim.
I'm gonna have to come in, G. Are you trying to be diplomatic here and to be politically correct because you don't want to create enemies and you don't want any more red tapes or bad blood, or this is just you? Because it seems to me you are being humbled. You've lost money here, reputation on the line. You were scammed, red tapes. Remember, now there's something that's called about ransom. At times before you go in, they would want money and all of that. So that's the kind of sabotage.
We're on our way to that, my brother. No, I'm not on the politically correct side. I'm just showing love to the people I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna let you know what actually happened in this situation, my brother. So what happened? The reason why I bring up our former minister of police is he ended up contacting Yambossi because he saw that they were blocking me on trying to get the stadium. So Snay, the CEO of Amazulu, I spoke to her. She said, look, this is a big event. I would love for this event to be here for our city. We're going to move our game. Don't worry about it. We're going to move our game.
Shout out. Yeah.
Then the blocking started. They started trying to block me from PSL. PSL didn't block me. It was those around calling PSL, offering people money to not give me the stadium. And BC, he got involved, man, and he made sure that we got that stadium. And then in the middle of that happening, let me tell you how the scammers got me, bro. In the middle of that happening, I get a call from a guy and a lady who tells me I have a bill of $50,000. I'm supposed to pay $50,000 in order to move the game. And so I'm thinking it's legit. They send me an invoice. I send the money off. Find out, total scam, man. Total scam, man. But they even had the letter from it. They even faked the letter from PSL.
Letterhead.
Letterhead and all, man. So, that was where it all started. Then I found out, I started weeding out the new scammers that were coming around me in Durban. Yeah. So I had to get them all away from me, there in Durban. Then, as we started moving throughout the process, I had people coming to me. I have this sponsor. You know how that goes. I have that sponsor, sponsor. Pay me this, pay me that. So they take me into arts and culture. This is when the red tape starts. My brother, I have a master's degree in business economics. I'm OCD. My documents are in line. My business history is in line. My budgets everything is in line. I give you every reason to support me. Yeah, brother, you can't. You can't. You cannot dispute me on that, man. And it's verifiable information that I'm giving to you. And it was like they were stonewalling me, my brother. It was like they wanted to say no, but they just wanted to run out of time to where they couldn't say yes. Yeah. So all of a sudden you get all the way down. And what I feel like guys were trying to do to me is they just never believed I could pay. So they would put hurdles in my way and it would always be financial. So here they know that I got $1 million budget. $1,030,000 is the budget for this show. 18 million and some change. And so once they know, they promised me 6 million from here, they promised me 4 million from there, and now they think they're gonna tie me down. Yeah. And they tell me I'm gonna get it 2 weeks prior to the show. So I'm like, all right, great. All is well. Because it needs to be paid, the last money needs to be paid 2 weeks prior to the show. And then they pull the rug from underneath me. And they tell me, no, we're going to pay after the show. We're going to do this. We're going to do this by design, my brother. And so I just dug in my pocket and I kept paying. And I kept telling my wife, I said, don't worry. I told my whole team, don't worry, y'all. They're going to be sorry after this happens. So as we move forward in the process of getting past that, then I'm sitting with the tourism people there in Durban. They're basically blowing smoke up my ass the entire time, telling me that they're going to support this, telling me they're going to support that, and they were all playing games. And at the end of the day, they offered me some billboards and some street posts. Man, I was gaslighted, my brother. Gaslighted, my brother. They're very nice people. Winile, she's a nice lady, and all the rest of that. But the way that they treated me, my brother, what these people don't understand is that stadium there, it belongs to the people of Durban, my brother. Yeah. That stadium is owned by the city. The stadium is not like here, stadium management, F&B, and all the rest. That's a private company. Yeah. That stadium belongs to the people. All those employees work for the people. Yeah. So here you go and try to shut down a show for 26,000 South Africans. My brother, my wife is in the room with me. We're the only Americans here. Everybody else is South African. Everybody's born here with an ID, with everything. We're the only foreigners on the show. So here you're going to let down almost 800 people that I employed. You're going to let down 26,000 South Africans because you don't like me. Why? Because the scammer told you that I ain't shit. How does that sound, man? I lost 63 million rands in this country, my brother. I let my best friend, Sadote Wanchuku, nigga, I'm still looking for you. He stole $2 million from me. I let that fat bastard Biblos steal $13 million from me, try to ruin my name and all of that bullshit. I ain't gonna talk about that leg of his, you know what I'm talking about, with the painted hairline on. You my nigga now, man, so I ain't gonna put you on blast. But he got me last. So
that's
at the end
my
of
guy.
He's my guy too, man. I'm not even gonna front. Look, sometimes relationships are built out of fire, bro. And I like redemption. All the nigga has to do is apologize to me, bro. Because at the end of the day, I'm God's child, bro. And God says, once I redeem myself, all I got to do is put myself on his plate. I say apologies and I turn from my ways. That's all a person has to do with me is say, bro, I fucked up, man. My bad. And we move on with our life. But at the end of the day, for me, after losing that type of money, I get blogs writing bullshit about me. There's stories saying that I rape girls, I overpour. Bro, do you know I don't even go to the club? I've been to the club in this country 2 times, my brother. Once was the Rick Ross after party, and I think I went to when Kiwan was performing at Okio or something. I don't even go out, my brother. I'm a homebody. I'm 43 years old. You know, I was a strip club nigga, man, for 20 years. I'm tired, man. You know, I leave that to Raz. You know, he go to the strip club now, you know, do his thing, man. You know, but for me, it's like to re-victimize a victim. It's fucked up, you know. And everybody that did that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, I just came here to uplift, bro. I didn't come here to tear down. You know, even right now, there's a lie going around that I stole 10 million from somebody in Cape Town. Where are the people that I scammed, my brother? Where are they? Bring them to me. Is that the camera right there? If I scammed you, come find me. Hit Scheme up right now. Let him know I scammed you. Show us the paperwork. I'll pay you immediately. Yes, I am a rich nigga. I'll pay you immediately. So it's like, for me, my brother, it's just fucked up how they did me. And then to come all the way down to this, where clearly I know what I'm doing. Clearly, that Burna Boy bullshit was that nigga Sadote. It had nothing to do with me. It wasn't my show. Turnery Media Group wasn't my company. I just invested my money. The name of my company is Blue Screen Entertainment. It's been around for 23 years. Why would I come here to work on another company? Does that make common sense? No, it does not. So for me, when I came into Durban, I can't lie. A lot of people, you know, opened their arms to me, but it was the people. You know, the shunning that I got from the government and whatnot. I don't even blame them. They, you know, they let the white what do you call it, gaslighters, you know, gaslight them, start telling them bullshit, you know, about me and things. So, you know, bro, not even a lot of people know. You know, the last week, you know, I booked the stadium. But 3 months ago, right? You know, they give me a price. I paid a full fee. Everything is good to go. On Wednesday of last week, the stadium comes to me and tells me I owe them $600,000 for food and beverage. And I'm like, food and beverage? For who? Who's the food and beverage for? Oh, your VIPs. So I'm like, hold on. 350 niggas is costing me $600,000. Oh, no, them niggas need to stay at home. Yeah, like, because I'm like, what is this, y'all? Because at the end of the day, I can't even benefit from the food and beverage. I just got to buy it, and I can't even make no money. You know, this one bottle of Bel Air, and I'm going to find this, y'all. This one bottle of Bel Air. Do you know that the stadium's rule is for every one bottle that I bring in, I must give them 2? My brother, that's their corkage fee. 2 for 1. Bro, that's like some mafia shit. That's like Al Capone himself told me, you ain't coming up in here, bro. And so here now I got to piss off my sponsor. Bel Air brings 13 cases down to the stadium. And now I got to tell Bel Air, hey, sorry, bro, you also owe the stadium 26.
You must bring times 2.
So where do you think that comes from? Out of my pocket. I say, don't trip, y'all. I'll take care of it because none of us knew about this until this day. 3 days prior, 72 hours before the show. You know, so now I'm sitting there in the room. Now, mind you here now, because of the scammers, right? You know, I don't bank in this country. I do have a bank account here. But when I need to pay something, I send myself money from the US and then I pay here. I make sure I leave no money in my South African account. You know, they try to hit my account multiple times. Shout out to my nigga with that painted hairline on. I know it was you. You know,
with
but
that fade.
you know,
this corner is dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man. And Lagash, I'm not talking about your hairline, the other guy, man. So at the end of the day for me, right? So they come to me with this bullshit. So I tell them on Wednesday, look, guys, I tell you what, I'll wire transfer you the money. Let's get right now. Let's log on to the computer. I'll show you my bank account. You'll see that I have the money. I'm going to send it to you right now. But Thursday was a holiday. So I'm like, guys, that means I got 24 hours all the way from an international wire transfer to get to you. And you're telling me that if I don't pay you, there's no show. Now, I've paid for everything. I'm $1 million out of my pocket. And the stadium, you're going to stop me from throwing a show because you gave me a bill too late. Now, how messed up is that, my brother? So then we make a deal. They say, okay, Greg, no problem. Don't worry about it. We're good to go. Just give us the POP. We see the wire transfers there. Everything is good. We'll talk to you on Friday. I'm sure the money will show up on Friday. Now, what they did not know is the same day that I sent them money, I sent money to myself. So on Friday, I wake up and I call my bank here. And I say, guys, here's the, it's called a MEIE number that you can, it's an IMAD number that you can track a transfer. So I say, guys, here's the number. I need you to track this transfer. I need you to put this money in my account ASAP. My brother, in 30 minutes, the money was in my account, right? But I don't say anything to anybody because I have other things I need to take care of and whatnot. But we've made our deal that they'll wait on their money. So then I get a call from the stadium on Friday. They want to see me. So I go and sit down at the stadium. And now, after doing all of these things that I've done in this country, now I got to explain myself of why somebody is sending to the stadium that I'm a scammer, that they've heard this, that they've heard that. And I'm looking at them and saying, guys, what does any of that matter today? What does any of that matter right now?
Were they not following the build-up when you were taking pictures with
My brother,
General, with everybody else? I mean, the stakeholders,
it's like
artists pushing your show.
Bro, they saw it all.
Yeah.
That not only did they see it all, but see, remember, if on a daily basis, if I'm dealing from here, all of a sudden my meeting was here. So now these people here have to meet me for the very first time because now they're trying to decide if they're going to sabotage me. That's what the meeting was about. I'm not stupid. They're trying to decide if all of these things that I heard were true. Yes, my brother, they want me to fail. But after meeting me, my brother, if you don't like me after meeting you, it's because you don't like yourself. Bro, I'm a straightforward dude. I don't have no issues with nobody. I have a lot of love for everybody. Like, how do you not like me? Unless you're a hater. How do you not like me? Because all I try to do is put people on. Yeah, I may talk shit and all of the rest, but in the end, even after I left you here with you that day, and you got a great show in the rest, I double back and say, hey, bro, if I can help you in any way, just let me know. That's my spirit, my brother. So after having this meeting, we all have this talk. Now, I let them talk, and then I pull up my phone and I show them, my brother, here's the money right here. But right now, you guys are holding the wire transfer for me. Now, here you guys are this whole big-ass city, this whole big-ass country. Why can't you call your bank and do the same thing that I did? And, I recorded the call. So I played it for them. So I said, guys, this is what I did to get my money. Why can't you do the same? Oh, well, we don't control that, blah, blah. I said, so if you don't control it, why are we here? Why are we even talking about this? So then they tell me, look, I tell you what. So I told them, look, guys, I have money at CompuTicket. So here's what I'll do for you. I'll send CompuTicket an email with a session to say, hey, give the stadium the $600,000. Now everybody's safe. My money is there. I've taken no advance payments from CompuTicket, nothing. Just take your money from there. It's all good. We all sat around the table together. I sent the email on the spot. We all agreed. We shook hands. We left. Everything was good. This is Friday night, right? About 7 o'clock at night. I'm still sitting at the stadium. Saturday, Ross gets here. Everything is great. We all think everything is beautiful, my brother. 10:30 in the morning, I get a call from the stadium. Now, I don't even get a call from the stadium. I got a call from Kuzani's manager. Said that they kicked him off of stage from doing a sound check. Then I get a call from Gearhouse that said that they kicked him out of the stadium. Then my security is trying to do a security check inside of the stadium, and they're telling me that Vusi Sizwe has been told to not allow anybody from the Durban Music Fest inside of the stadium. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I pick up the phone. I call the upper management at the stadium.
I feel him. It's a movie.
It's a movie, my brother.
It's a script.
It's a movie, my brother. So these niggas, man, at the stadium, I called them up, and they tell me that they've gotten a call from this accountant, this white accountant from the city, right? So I said, why you say white? Now they're trying to tell me exactly where it's coming from, right? They're trying to tell me where it's coming from. I'm not stupid, bro. I know Ticket Pro. I know Ian Smallsmith. I know all of them have been trying to block me every which way. Blue Label, all of you, and I'm coming for y'all. Y'all see what I just did? Well, I gave away $1 million out of my pocket. I'm coming with fire. First, I just had to prove y'all was a liar. But next, I'm coming with fire. Trust me, my brother. I'm telling you. So for me on that Saturday, they called me and tell me now, this accountant says, if the money doesn't reflect before the show, they're going to close the gates. So I tell them on the phone. So I say, look here, brother, we had a deal. What's the problem? I sent the email off to CompuTicket. You guys have my wire transfer. You just need to have your bank do their job. What the fuck is going on? They said, look, Greg, it's not me, bro. It's these accountants, bro. You know how white people are, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I tell you what, man, it's cool. Send me the banking details. See, this is that thing. So they think that they can block. They think they can block me with money at all times. But they don't realize I can keep spending and spending and spending, my brother. Over here, you can't compete with me. My dollars go too far, my brother. Because y'all living in rands, bro. My dollars go too far. And it's not because I'm saying I'm better. It's just that, unfortunately, that's just where I'm from, my brother. So for me, I paid this. It was $599,000 that I had to pay. I paid it on the spot. They opened the doors to the stadium, and they let us keep going, right? So now, mind you, sorry, I got to take a step back. So you remember I sent this email off to CompuTicket, right?
Yeah.
So I asked them, guys, what's wrong? CompuTicket has already said they're gonna pay you guys your money Monday or Tuesday. What's the issue? We've already agreed to this. You know what they say to me? They send an email back that says, look, we acknowledge that Greg Wings is telling you guys to pay, but we want it on an official form from CompuTicket. Now, CompuTicket says, guys, we don't have forms. Now, mind you, the stadium has a food and beverage package they were selling.
Yeah.
They just let me send an email to CompuTicket to give them the money. No problems whatsoever. But now today, you want an official document on a Saturday at 11 o'clock. Who's going to do that? And the guys at CompuTicket are scrambling. They're like, gee, we're at home, bro. I don't have my laptop. I don't have access to my email. Even if I wanted to create a form, I can't do it. So then I just, I had to pay. Yes. So I get past that. We move on throughout the day of the stadium, right? So I'm there till about, I think maybe 5. I go, like at 3:30, we go to pick Ross up. Ross goes out to his house. Everything is good. 7 o'clock, I'm on my way from my house down to the stadium, and they call me and tell me there's a disaster, bro. People are fighting with security. They don't have enough wristbands for my VIP. Now, mind you, I just paid $600,000 for these VIP guests. But now the stadium has not printed up enough wristbands for the guys to be able to get in.
It was almost a mess.
My brother, it was a mess, my brother.
I was there. I had to fetch people. I know.
It was a mess, my brother.
About it, you gave me 10 VIP tickets. Per ticket was 10,000, 12.
12,500.
When we got there, it was a mess.
It was a mess.
From the outside, when you get inside, they are saying, hey, Muna, you're double spending. I said,
it was bad, man. It was bad. Bro, when I showed up to the stadium, I'm thinking I'm going to come. I'm going to get to watch the show. Everything is good. I can relax. Bro, shout out to Gear House. Me and Gear House had a big fight 2023 behind, my money in that Burner Boy situation I was trying to get back. But Gear House, bro, as it pains me to say it, they're the best in this country, my brother. That sound, the sound was excellent, my brother. It was amazing. The stage, the sound, the lighting, the setup. All I did was gave them my vision, and they made it come to light, my brother. And they had a lot of people on the ground running things the way it was supposed to go.
Somizi killed that thing.
My brother, Somizi. Listen, man. Side note. Me and Sumizi and his management, we battled it out prior to the show, man. Sumizi's a diva, man.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't understand his talent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because for me, if Ross wants to be a diva, I would say, okay, man, he's Ross. All right, fine, man. Let him be a diva. But I'm saying, wait. Who does Sumizi think he is? But my brother, he shut me the fuck up. Yeah. When I saw Sumizi and how he, there's only a few things that I saw off the show because I was behind the scenes. I saw Sumizi come out, man, and that damn diamond studded hoodie, and he came out like Jesus and put his hands up, and the crowd went mad, my brother. Man, shout out to Sumizi, man. Literally, I swear to God, my brother, the next day, I asked Eva to get Sumizi on the phone. I personally called Sumizi and I apologized to him. He doesn't even know the battles that we had behind the scenes on things that were happening. But I had to say, bro, you deserve, you can be a diva with me anytime that you want to. Not only that, bro, I owe you a steak dinner, whatever you want to eat, I got you, my brother. It's the guy was amazing, my brother, and I love talent, my brother. Sumizi, I've been in this industry for 17 years. He's top 3 hosts that I've ever seen in my life, my brother. The way he commands crowds. Sumizi can go up against Ryan Seacrest, all of those guys, my brother. He's just over here right now. Sumizi's somebody I want to take to the United States, man, and get him gigs, man. I really love that man, bro.
His charisma. Also, Sumizi has a thing. With the terminology, when you're saying gay, you're saying lesbian, with us, there's a term that's called istaban. So only them that can call themselves itaban. But you can't say a particular person. So he did his, thing. After that, he said, hey, I'm no longer gay now. You can see you doing the thing. No, the stadium was crazy.
I loved it, man. Look, I'm so happy that the people didn't know what was going on. The people just had a great time. The show was flawless when it came to the people. But behind the scenes, bro, when I rolled up at 8 o'clock, there was about 75 VIP guests sitting outside the presidential suite entrance. And me, I was kind of shook. I didn't even know why people were there, what was happening, why it was going on, the whole nine, right? So I come inside of the stadium and I go to... First, I tell them all because everybody wants to talk to me when I get there. So I said, guys, let me go upstairs first to figure out what's going on, and then I'll come back down because I can tell it's chaos. So I go upstairs, and where the VOC office is, it's on the other side of the artist suite. So I got to walk through the artist suite to get to the VOC room, right? So I come to the artist suite. Now, Vusi Sizwe is there. Now, mind you, Vusi Sizwe's security company belongs to the stadium. Has nothing to do with me. But the stadium made me pay their bill. Let's go back to the sabotage, right? So now, Vusi Sizwe has a contract with the city to guard that stadium 24 hours a day. Whether the stadium was open or not on Saturday, they would have been there guarding the stadium. So why did the city push the bill off on me? Why did I have to pay Vusi Sizwe $100,000? Why? And I have my own security that I've taken care of already. So now here they are in these strategic areas. You want to know why they call them strategic? Because that's where the stadium is making their money. That's why they call them strategic. There's no need for them to be there. My guys could have handled the doors and they would have did just fine. So I come to the door and I say, hey, my brother, I need to get to that door over there. You can't come in here. And pushes me. My brother, I'm from the street, man. Yes. Don't you put your hands on me, my brother. Hey, you know, literally, bro. And my bodyguard is a UFC fighter. Man, he manhandled 3 of them, man, that had I'm talking about manhandle. He had one of them by the head like this, bro. I swear to God, my brother. And so the stadium, the ladies at the stadium, they see it and they run up and say, no, let him in. Yes. Because, bro, they were telling me they weren't even allowing the artists to come in. The artists that were performing from 3 to 6, they were telling them they had to go home. They weren't even allowed in the artist suite. And I come in the artist suite, I'm thinking it's going to be packed out. My brother, there was like 10 people in the room. They had Kuzani's dancers was sitting outside on the floor, outside the artist suite. It was just a sad situation, my brother. So I go and I sit in the room. We work it out, you know, and I'm asking them, guys, what's up with these wristbands? You guys didn't print me up enough wristbands. So they basically at this point telling me, man, you're shit out of luck. You should have told us you needed more. And I said, guys, look, here's the email. I told you exactly how many I needed, and you guys didn't give me enough. But in the sake of let's just get it over with, you know, let's keep moving, right? So then I have to go down to the VIP door, right? Because I got to salvage this situation. I grab all of the wristbands. And I say, guys, nobody else can get in unless I give them a wristband. Because I have to remember, I gave a lot of free tickets out, you know, to guys because I wanted them to be able to experience it. But the guys that bought VIP, you know, tickets, my brother, what about them? There's no way I can leave a guy outside that paid his $12,500. You know, you my nigga, man. I gave you 10 tickets, but you know, you my guy. You know, I couldn't charge you. But the guys that paid,
you even helped Chris. Who Chris when I was outside?
Chris was sitting.
Battled them, man. I gave Chris my respect. I had to fetch him.
I had to get those guys.
He said, no, I'm going. Now.
Everybody was frustrated, my brother, because it wasn't working out. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking Golden Circle. And I made sure that all of my VIPs could get into Golden Circle, and I legit started sneaking them upstairs because they're supposed to be in the room, bro. These guys paid their money. They're supposed to be there. And then, you know, you get upstairs to these guys, and I'm telling them, you know, security, bro. Security is always supposed to de-escalate. They're not supposed to escalate, my brother. So here I am teaching security. Guys, hey, don't talk to people like that. Calm down, bro, because somebody's going to punch you in the face. It's 3 of y'all. It's 100 of us. Now, if we start whooping y'all ass, what y'all gonna do? Besides call for help, you know, and then nobody's gonna help you because you started the shit, you know? So it was a very messed up situation. But although I'm talking shit about the stadium, at the end of the day, there's people at that stadium, man, that are very good people. You know, I'm gonna butcher her name, and I'm very sorry, but see, Jablu, she's excellent. Precious, she's excellent. Njabulo, he's excellent. These are the people I was working with every single day. Vusi, who's over the stadium, he's an excellent guy. I know people got outside pressures, bro. I know how it goes, you know. So for me, the perseverance that we showed, that what we did to make this happen, you know, for me, even though I'm talking shit, that stadium would love to have me back. You know, arts and culture is going to beg to do business with me. Urban tourism going to beg to do business with me in the future because what we put on. You know, I saw some idiot on TikTok showing behind the stage saying the stadium's empty.
I saw that video.
Like, you're a fool, my brother. You know, we booked 26,000 seats. We actually booked 21,000. We sold out 26,000. Don't even ask me how the rest of the people got inside of the stadium. The back end of the stadium. So, you know, you see the Moses Mabhida is under construction. So they won't give us the entire stadium. The only thing they're aligned for the entire stadium is soccer games because they're under contract. The construction is behind. The construction was supposed to be done in April, my brother. And they're still going on construction as we speak. They're working on that big spiral that comes down the middle. So they don't allow you to come. If you notice during the show, they moved it to the middle of the stadium to make sure that everybody would be safe. So for us, the haters can say whatever they want. Then, a person can say it was bad marketing, blah, 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 blah. My brother, if I show you my socials, between my 2 pages, bro, we had almost 10 million people. We are aggressive, bro. We know what we're doing. This is
not a PR interview. No, we need to give credit where it's due. I was there from day one.
Yes.
When you came, how you did the whole thing, even the invitations, when you dropped the bottles, the boxes, giving me my VVIP tickets. When I got to the airport, I saw your billboards, and I was saying, this is watertight. So that's where now the second question comes from. With regards to the city, because they have an obligation to make sure that we partner.
Yes.
If someone comes and say, no, at least I'm going to put my best foot forward. This is my money, and then the stadium, let's talk about the government.
Yes.
Okay. Because we always talk about government. Who is the government in this case? Because we are talking about people.
Yes.
I want those people because we are hiding behind the facade and we are saying government.
Yes.
And it gives government, it leaves it under very bad taste, bad spotlight because of the said individuals.
Yes.
So who are these people?
So on the national side, I can't say, because Gaten is a friend of the business. So I'm not gonna place the blame at his feet. But at the end of the day, you have an obligation to your people. You have an obligation to be pushing arts and culture, my brother. There's no reason why Xavier is sitting in this room and he's my artist now. How is he my artist? All the way from the United States. How is it that I had to get him a sponsorship deal with Lumiere for all of his jewelry and all of these types of things that are out there? How did we do those types of things? Why? It's because the city's not doing their job. The government's not doing their job. That article, man, if you go back and look where they're saying that they're distancing themselves from the Rick Ross show, why would you do that? So for me, when I look at it, you have national.
Up for a failure.
Yes, my brother. They're setting me up for a failure.
Why was there a bad taste? Did you give them, some sigh of doubt, or a shade of doubt?
Let me tell you something about this show, my brother. Let me tell you how many firsts were done on this show that has never been done in this country. You tell me when you've ever seen an international artist thank the promoter for bringing them to the country. The very first video Rick Ross did, he said, I want to give a huge shout out to Gregory Wings. Arts and culture. I was pulling them in, my brother, to say, guys, look, hey, I told you he was coming. I told you I was gonna pay him. I told you. I told you I'm from the Show Me stage. So every single stage, we're just showing and showing all of the activations and things that we're doing. We're showing what we're doing. We're showing we're for the people. I know a lot of people in Joburg says, oh, you can't throw a show without people from Johannesburg. Look, man, look. My brother, I had 26,000 people inside of the arena. There's 2 or 3 million people in Durban. Why do I need to bring people from Johannesburg? I would love people from Johannesburg to be there. But I'm focused. Remember where I'm from. I come from a place where we have hundreds of major cities. If I'm promoting a show in Atlanta, I'm not gonna advertise in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm only gonna advertise in Atlanta, Georgia. So for me, I wanted the people of Durban to be at the show, and I wanted all of my boys from Joburg, if they wanted to come, to be able to come down. So I'm thrilled that 90% of the stadium was filled with people from Durban. But what I'm blessed at, though, do you know how many people came from Kenya? Angola. They came from the DRC. Bro, they're foreigners, bro, came inside of this country to see this show. There were 20 guys from Kenya in the VIP that paid for their ticket. $12,500 per person paid for their ticket to come down here and see this show. So when you say who's at fault in the government, my brother, it's national arts and culture, it's local KZN's arts and culture department that I had multiple conference calls with. I gave them multiple budgets. I gave them everything that they asked me for. Durban tourism on the local level. I never talked to the national level. That I'm talking about like the city of Durban's tourism department. They came, made me do a dog and pony show like I was like tap dancing in front of like I was a jester, my brother. Budget this, budget that. Who are you? This. My brother, I sent them so much. I even sent these people my damn my credit report from the United States, man. My business and my personal, to say, guys, I don't know what you've heard about me. I'm not asking you for any money directly. I'm saying, here are my bills. Pay them. You don't have to give me anything.
Would you say people are hindering its development?
Absolutely, bro. And it's not just me. Because at the end of the day, a person may say, okay, well, he's a foreigner. You can be xenophobic if you want to. But all of my employees on this show, my brother, are South Africans.
Yeah.
So who are you hurting? You're not
putting
hurting
in
me.
money. You're not asking for money.
I'm not asking for money. All I'm asking you to do is support the show.
I want us to be very fair in this interview. Sorry, just to chip in.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Any pushback in terms of the industry people? Because remember, I'm the one who's going to say, hey, Muna, Greg has money there. You know, I might be the one who's actually whispering and telling other people to say, no, let me hotspot you my hate on Greg. Brother. So any industry people, whether it's the artist or whatever.
There were a ton of people in the industry. Look, there's a sad thing in this industry right now, man. And I'm calling out every single artist manager that is alive in this country. Yeah. You guys suck. That's my camera? You guys suck. You want to know why, my brother? You know, the amount of guys, first of all, since you've met me, I've told you I was live streaming my event.
Yeah, true.
And I was doing a documentary. I was doing all of these things, my brother. You know, and all of these managers knew this. Now, to come down to the last second when I put my lineup out, for managers to now come and say, no, not my artist. No, not my artist. And I'm saying, okay, guys, now I'm about to put your artist in front of 500,000 to 1 million people. Why would you stop that? And I'm trying to put your artist in my country. And I'm not even asking for any money. Yeah. Why would you stop your artist from that? That's that gatekeeping BS, my brother. Not even asking what's in it for my artist. Yeah. Because then you'd find out your artist is going to make 5% of everything that I make. So, bro, we had 18 artists, you know, on the show. So that is, for me, 18 acts plus Rick Ross at 10%. Bro, I'm giving away 75% of my money. I'm only keeping 25% of myself just to show them what type of money they're supposed to be making, because I want them to stop getting played by everyone else. Yeah. And look, you know, I said them all, man, you know, but there's some of them that are very good. Sumizi's manager's very good. You know, I like him a lot. You know, there's guys out there that are good. Everybody didn't give me problems, you know. But, you know, you know, I intercepted a voice note from Miss Mawu. Calling me a scammer. I heard it out of her mouth. You know, these are these things in the industry that you say, why would you do that? You don't even know me. You know, like, why would you do that? You know, and for me, I didn't retaliate. I just said, you know, don't trip, bro. Let's do a great show and let's sit down and talk to her afterwards. Let's clear the air and let's do business in the future. Even after that, I knew that prior to the show. I didn't treat her any types of way. I did nothing. I even offered her to be on my September show. I even offered her to be on my December show. So, but for me, it's not about you almost like you almost told me, yo, bro, stop bullshitting me, man. Don't be politically correct. So I have to, my brother. I have to say names, my brother. I can't help myself. I have to, my brother. You know, don't nobody have to be mad at me. Mawu's an excellent artist. She's big as fuck. She's excellent. I love her music. I love her talent. We sit that over there. But personal, you're not supposed to attack people personally. This is just business, my brother. You're hearing about a guy who was a victim and you read something online and you're just saying things out of your mouth for whatever the reason. And she had a great time at the show. She did very well at the show. She's going to be pushed on my 1 hour special. She's going to be pushed in the documentary. She's going to be seen by millions of people that would have never seen her before. So for me, it's not about me calling her out, because I'm not calling her out. I don't argue with women. I don't get into it with women. You know, I was about to say somebody's name that gets into it with women, but I won't do that because I like him, man.
You gotta be Meg G, Chief. Meg G is in hot water, Chief. Meg G calls your body parts now.
Hey, Meg G, I did not say that, my brother. It was scheme, bro.
That's my guy. No, by the way,
but I was talking about you, bro. But you my nigga, man. I love him, man.
I spoke to him there in Durban with Tabo Bala and them. Shout out, guys. And I know, man, they had a desire of interviewing Rose. What happened to that?
So it was sad, man. I felt really bad, bro. So Ross was supposed to get in on 10:30 p.m. on Friday night. And I'm going to tell you a fucked up true story. So at about 9 o'clock, I get a text message that says that Ross missed his flight and he won't be landing until 4:30 the next day. Now, Mac G and his guys were supposed to get an interview. It was all set up. Everything was set up. They were supposed to do an interview with him during sound check. So Ross doesn't do sound check, only his DJ and producer. So he was going to come to the stadium. He was supposed to do he was supposed to do it. He was supposed to do 2 interviews. He was going to do one for Trace and he was going to do one for Mac G. And then he was going to do a what do you call it? Like a meet and greet for the guys at Sif Dubai and a couple other guys that that supported the show. And all of a sudden now he's coming at 4:30. So I got to figure out now how to maneuver this thing, right? So I tell Mac G, look, don't worry. Let's figure out if we can do it on Sunday. So they agreed to me, Sunday, Greg, we got you. Don't trip. We'll do it either at the villa or we'll figure out somewhere to do it. So Sunday morning comes up. I wake up Sunday morning. I got a text from Ross, from his security, saying that Ross wants to go to a safari. He doesn't have time to do an interview. And I'm like, guys, what type of shit is this? You know, now remember I told you about this diva shit. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let him be a diva, but I gotta fix this for my guys, bro. You know, because I promised Mac G them, man, that they would be able to do this.
Yeah, they flew down for this interview.
Nah, they were down, bro. And I loved how they moved around the stadium with their piano pause. They were everywhere, bro. They did an amazing job, bro. I literally shout out to all of them, bro. They did an excellent job. And I love their producers. I love their CEO. I forget his name. I think it's Bala or something like that. Yeah, bro. They're very nice people, man. I really liked them all, and I really felt bad, bro. I really felt like I let them down. So I'm talking to Ross's team. Now, instead of them going 2 hours out, I find one that's just an hour away. So I said, all right, bro, I know you want the Zulu dance, and I know you want to do the safari. The Zulu dance is 25 minutes. The safari is an hour. We can go at 11. You guys can be back by 2. You do the interview for them, and you head to the airport because he was leaving at 6. So at 4, he needs to go and head to the airport. So they say, okay, G, it's cool. No problem. So, man, 11:30 comes. We're supposed to head out. They don't answer the telephone. Now, I'm supposed to go to the safari up front because I got to pay for everything, make sure everything is set up, right? So I'm about to leave my house, but now nobody's answering the telephone. I'm like, man, what are these niggas doing, man? So I end up calling Josh. Josh gets in contact with the guys. They call me. They say, hey, man, Ross is tired, bro. He just wants a massage, man. So we called 2 girls from the hotel. They giving a massage.
Some diva
I'm
shit.
like, bro, a massage.
Shout out, Rose. The big boss is tired.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So then I'm like, all right, man, can you guys just do like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, anything for these guys, man, because they stayed an extra day. They booked an extra day at their villa, everything, bro. They incurred expenses, all types of things, man. And I'm like, guys, this is a relationship that I'm building with these guys. I don't want to let them down, right? So they tell me yes. He tells me he's just going to give them 10 minutes. Now, mind you, this was supposed to be a 45-minute interview, man. But I'm like, okay, they'll figure it out, man. 10 minutes, fine. It is what it is. At 3 o'clock, his head of security texts me and says, bro, unfortunately, Ross isn't with it, man. He's ready to go. We're packing up everything. He wants to go find souvenirs for his family, and then we're headed out. Now I gotta deliver the bad news.
Yes.
And for me, how am I gonna deliver this news? Yeah, it's a sad end to the story. So all I could tell them is, look, guys, I'll cover your expenses. That's all I can do. Because there's nothing else that I can do about it except for what I've done, man. So I end up covering their villa that they paid for and stuff like that to try to make it up to them. And then I find out, my brother, and I'm pissed, my brother. I find out that Ross, he didn't miss his flight. He took a gig in Dubai. So there was somebody that canceled on a gig in Dubai. So since they knew he had a layover in Dubai, they asked him to stay. So he canceled his flight so he could stay until the next day to do a gig in Dubai, man. And remember, I know everybody on that side. So to not piss me off and stress me the fuck out, they lied to me and told me that he missed his flight. Now they were honest with me afterwards. They told me like, bro, we just didn't want to worry you, but hey, how you gonna not let him take his money? They were offering him $150,000, bro. How was he not gonna take his money? Now I'm saying, okay, well shit. The nigga has to get his money, but at the end of the day, what about your obligations, bro? Like you rich as fuck. What's $150,000, bro? Come on, man. So and you didn't communicate properly because it's something that possibly we could have worked out right when he landed to be able to have Mac G and the guys out at the villa waiting. They could have came right by. He could have did the interview and went. Instead, you guys are telling me, don't worry. Sunday we'll do the interview. Everything is all good. So it was a sad ending. And honestly, man, this is my camera. Mac G, y'all, I'm super sorry, bro, that happened to y'all. But in business, it's what you do after a failure, man, that matters the most. If you run, you turn off your phone, you don't talk to people and whatnot, then a person has a right to be upset. But when a person comes back and say, hey, guys, this was beyond my control. I have no control over what this man, this big-ass nigga, like literally does. Like he's 5 times my size.
Mac G is very strong, Chief.
They
were taking him to Parliament.
But he's going to win,
hit
man.
them with that vendor situation, Chief. He said, I'm not going to Parliament. Shout out Mac G and African song.
Nah, he's gonna win,
Love
man.
you
He'll be
guys.
okay, man. Mac G's a
no, be
good guy,
fine.
man, and he has a great platform.
Yeah,
His
he's
platform's huge, man.
uncancelable, that one.
Nah, they
That
can't
one.
cancel him. It
That
won't
one is
work,
a
man.
hero, that one.
It won't work, man. It's honestly a bunch of old people that don't understand, what you guys do. This is freedom of speech, man.
No,
You're
it's going
supposed to
to
be
be
able to
very
say whatever
difficult,
you want.
and you must understand that when you're talking about traditional media, maybe you might have a word, but this is internet, chief. When you're talking about YouTube, you can't bring regulations
No,
and
sir.
what. I'm not saying I'm promoting and condoning certain behaviors, but I'm just saying, Uguti, you can't come here and dictate and tell us, Uguti, this is how we are going to do this. It's going to be very difficult. I just hope that they find one another, in the process, and then Lady Naya carries on.
Yeah,
with their
because
life.
you don't want them to, you don't want them to because they'll try to destroy his business from a way it can't come back. Right now, you're like, man, he's too big to fall. But they'll figure out a way, man, to try to screw you, man. But
even the elephant will collapse. This is
yes,
South Africa,
my brother.
China.
Yeah,
you can't
man.
bullshit because you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Exactly,
Those guys
my
are
brother.
bullshitters. So, and also when you are fiddling and you are at loggerheads with the government, you are actually barking at the wrong tree.
No, you are, my brother.
Yeah,
100%.
it's going to be said. My guy, as I release you, what the future holds for Uchimani, where do we go from here?
Well, man, I got September the 6th is my next show.
Yeah.
It's also in Durban. It's going to be at that pier on South Beach where the Masepes throw their annual Christmas party.
Yeah.
25,000 people. It's an all-girls festival. The two headliners are ginormous, my brother. You're going to love them, man.
Solid.
They're going to put Ricky Rose to shame when they come to the country. They're very popular. They're very, in today's time. The two young girls, y'all can figure them out if y'all want to. It ain't Nicki Minaj. It ain't Cardi B. Just keep thinking. It ain't Meg Thee Stallion. Just keep thinking of who they are, man. So we're gonna do an all-girls festival down there on the beach. The only person I'll give you that's going to be there is Uncle Waffles for sure. Outside of that, you got to guess the rest of the people that's going to be in the lineup. But for me, what's coming in the future, also we're doing a show December 13th and 14th in Durban, back-to-back days in Durban. And then for that... what's it called, man? Shapeville Massacre. The anniversary, the 21st of March.
Yeah, that's Malcolm's hood.
Yeah, my brother. I've learned my history of this country. We're gonna throw a celebration, and that one's gonna be huge, my brother.
Shout out to you,
that
brother.
one is what everybody's been asking for. That person that y'all been asking for, that's who's coming in March. 100%, my brother. So, I'll tell you one last thing, man.
Yeah.
One last thing. Did you know that they tried to shut the show down at 11 o'clock?
At the
No
stadium?
show. Yes, my brother.
Yeah, before Rose.
They showed up with SAPS. Stadium management told us to get the hell out of the stadium. Even though they had a running order that was already approved, everything. They tried to shut it down. That's the last thing I forgot to tell y'all. But, bro, stay tuned, man. What is actually next outside of the entertainment industry? So I'm also into telecommunications. My goal is to take this continent, but first with this country, take them from 30% connectivity to 70%. We're already in Angola, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and what is that, man? Mozambique. So what we're doing right now is attacking the rural areas. So we work off of low orbiting satellites. So we reposition a satellite. I don't need to do business with MTN, Vodacom, none of them. I don't dig underground. It's all satellite technology to where if you're out in the bush, if you're in the ocean, as long as you have power, you're connected, my brother. So for us, what they're trying to do is cut black people off from information in this country. That's why the connectivity isn't there. The same technology that we have, Vodacom has it, MTN has it, Blue Label, they all have the same technology that we have. There's nothing proprietary to it, but they don't want to give us the access to the information because when we have that information at the palm of our hands, that little girl or little boy in the rural areas that you can lie to, you can't lie to them no more. You can't tell them that there's load shedding in the United States when there's not. So that's what's me for the future. It's just about educating the environment, putting on my new artists. Like I said, shout out to Xavier Thomas, man. Y'all gonna see a lot of him, So I'm just trying to curate talent, man. If you got talent, hit me up. Blame It on G on Instagram. My business is Blue Screen Entertainment on Instagram. The next show is Spring Break in Durban is what it's called. And all of our events will be every single year. So the Durban Music Fest is coming back, next year. What's next year, y'all? I'm in 2024 still. 2026. 2026. And I'll tell y'all right now who's headlining. It's going to be Ludacris. It's headlining Durban Music Fest next year. Y'all heard it right here today. Eva, don't be mad that I told everybody. Luda's coming next year. Durban Music Fest is gonna be him. We're doing Spring Break Fest every single year. Our December show is gonna be it's gonna be called Christmas in Durban every single year, man. And then I'm gonna come back to Joburg, man, and show some super love, man.
That's how we wrap it up. Let's stay connected until the next episode. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Salute. Amen. Over and out.